Hi there, this is Euroman of Euroman's Movie Report. This week, I have watched a film. A film which wasn't very good, and of course I'm talking about Skyline. Skyline is yet another remake of H.G. Wells' classic novel Worlds, where we have these evil aliens coming down from the sky, hurting eating a lot of humans, and then something happens, and the aliens obviously will be defeated. Skyline, it generally, what can I say? It sucked. Skyline was one of the worst films I have, worst sci-fi films which I personally have seen this decade. The acting was terrible, the story was terrible, but the special effects, they were okay. Because the special effects, they weren't that great, but they were okay. And generally, the story goes something like this. We have these rich douchebags living in downtown LA. We have the stereotypical hip-hop star turned sci-fi actor. We get some reference to it. We hear him having done some films with a robot. This, of course, is quite fun because later we will have some dealings with in that universe real robots. But generally, and then these Hollywood type douchebags, they have a party in the rapper's apartment. Terry or Jerry or Jack, or I don't know, I don't remember his name. And then then during the following night, and we have these blue lights in the sky, and one of the douchebags at the party, he gets up, and then he's drawn to the blue light like a fly is to a bug catcher. You know, these bug catchers you can get at the hardware stores, which emits this blue light, and then it attracts the bugs. This generally is what happens in Skyline, when the aliens emit some sort of blue light which attracts the humans, and when something happens to their veins and their faces and on their arms, and generally over their entire body. And then this guy disappears, and then they all get up and then they look outside, and they can see that that all the people have disappeared, and something has obviously happened during the night, and we have in them turning on the TV, we can see that the television studios have their cameras says live, and obviously the news crews have walked out during the night, and I don't know about American news, but I seem to remember that they don't transmit during the night except during emergencies, and the emergency broadcast system is of course on. We have the and then the movie then generally is about our heroes being in the apartments and seeing what happens. And for instance, we have the Navy and Air Force, U.S. Navy and Air Force, trying to shoot down the big ass mothership hovering over the skies of Los Angeles. And then of course they try to escape, and then they do one of the worst things in the film. They trash a $1 million Ferrari, where we have this, because the aliens, they have deployed these giant frog monkeys in downtown Los Angeles. And it stamps on the Ferrari, and then with the help of one of the best characters in the film, the best character in the film, the kick-ass Latino janitor, who is the most serious actor in the film, in my opinion. He is able to deliver his lines way better than the other actors. I seem to remember the guy playing Terry or Jerry. I have seen him before, but I don't remember the rest of the cast from any other films. Maybe they have been in some TV shows which I haven't seen. But generally, the film is it's a travesty. It's not an homage to H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds, because I think it's a travesty film, because the acting is terrible, the story is terrible, and all the climatic sequences, they are all wrong. And I think with Strauss Brothers, they should be banned from making any of them, directing or writing any other films, because they need to get their act together. Because like Predators from 2004, this film, the whole story premise, it sucked. It sucked ass. Simply, it was a travesty to watch, and all the premises they were all wrong. And had it been me at the end having the aliens want to take my my stupid former ex-girlfriend, then I would say let him do it. I wouldn't have followed her up to the sky, because in a situation like that, it's every man for himself, in my opinion. So plain and simple. Maybe that makes me into an asshole, but I'm sure all of you guys would have done exactly the same thing, having left that bitch ass of a girlfriend, and having the aliens suck her up, in my opinion, because that they could. I would gladly had them take my ex-girlfriend, because she was such a pain in the neck. Neck. She went, Frederick, well, you need to do this. Frederick, you need to do that. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, fuck you. But generally, I must say, as I said earlier, the acting was terrible, the story was terrible, but the only sequence which was any good in the film was the drone attack scene, where we have all these different drones, military, Air Force, Navy drones, trying to engage the mothership over the skies of LA, where they come. And of course, the Latino janitor, he had a kick-ass ending, where we have these giant frog-like aliens, alien type thing, which had crawled up on the side of the building, and then he opens the gas, and then he says some sort of kick-ass line in Spanish, and takes a cigarette, and then boom! That was one of the best scenes in the film, and proves that he was a kid. He was the only likable character in the film. So anyway, yeah. What is anything else to say about the film? I have said that the Strauss brothers, they should be banned from ever directing on a film again. I have said that. And yeah, it was a cheap. In many instances it was. I can imagine the Strauss brothers having seen in Independence Day, and then they say, "Oh, we're gonna remake this film with better CGI, la 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 la," and then we will hire some asylum type actors, and asylum films. You know, asylum films, they make all these mockbusters, and one could easily have imagined if you had drummed down the special effects in Skyline to a PlayStation 1, Nintendo 64 level, then the actors in the film in Skyline would have been, in my opinion, asylum material. I sincerely hope that Asylum tries to copy this film, because it would be fun to watch, because the original film sucks ass like it does, when an Asylum knockoff couldn't be any worse than this original, so it would be fun to watch. And of course, another thing, the Strauss brothers, the aliens in Skyline are, in my opinion, a knockoff of the aliens from the hit 2007 game Crysis. I'm sure that the Strauss brothers had been sitting with the controller and praying, "Ooh, look at these aliens! We can do a movie about them and then call them our own." So shame on you, Strauss brothers, from copying the aliens from Crysis. So maybe we should rename the film Crysis the movie instead, just with terrible actors and without the guys in the special suits. So yeah, what else? What else can I say? Yeah, 1 out of 5 Coca-Cola bottles, because Skyline sucked. Shame on you. Yeah, and this is Euroman. I'm Euroman's movie report. Next week I'm gonna go watch Machete, because it premieres here in Scandinavia the next Friday. So until then, I'm gonna drink some Coca-Cola, and of course, Euroman movie report brought to you by Coca-Cola, the only thing a movie reviewer needs to after a harsh review. So this is Euroman of Euroman's movie report, signing off.